Welcome everyone. I've met a few of you before, but not everybody. So my name is Julie Baldwin. I'm Projects and Events Officer for Hayle Town Council. And part of my remit, part of my job is about supporting our local businesses, and hence why we put on Hayle Business Week. What we'll do is we'll listen to the presentations, if that's okay, and then we'll take questions at the end. Please feel free to add them into the chat, because I know if you're anything like me, you might forget what you want to ask. Yeah, feel free to turn your videos off if you don't want to be on the screen, that's fine. And without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Karen, who's from Unlocking Potential.
Thank you, Julie. Right, I'll just share my screen, bring my presentation up. There we go. So it's just skipped through. Let me just go back to the beginning. There we go. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Yeah, fab, brilliant, thank you. So good morning, everyone. My name is Karen. I am the Development and Delivery Lead at Unlocking Potential. So I sort of have two elements to my role, really. One is looking at all of our workshop content, and the other part of my role is that I also work one-to-one with clients as well. So I sort of support clients through our workshop and continue sort of working with them and supporting them through their journey with us. So this morning I'm here to introduce you really to our breakthrough programme, which we're delivering on behalf of the Growth Hub. And what I'm going to do is kind of give you an overview of our programme, who our support is aimed at, and also talk you through the format of our workshops and go into a little bit more detail about the content that we cover in them as well. There we go. So our breakthrough workshop is aimed at people and businesses that are either pre-trade. So this might be that you're at a really early stage with your business idea. We have people attend our workshops where that idea has just been bubbling away in the background, and they're at the point where actually they want to see if it's got legs, see if it's something that they can turn into a business. We get people attending that have always wanted to run their own business, or have had this idea, that they've always wanted to do something with it, and that actually now is the time to do that. It's also aimed at startup businesses. So this could be, for example, that you've been doing your business as a hobby, and that actually you're now ready to put some focus behind it and see if you can sort of turn this into a business and grow this business. It might be that actually, you've had this idea bubbling away, you've been working on your idea, you've researched it, and you're just on the cusp of launching. Or it might be that actually you're at an early stage with your business. So this is sort of predominantly within your first 12 months of trading, could be just outside of that. But actually you're at that point where you need some support and direction, perhaps with particular areas of your business, such as, marketing. That's a common one that we sort of speak to people about, or it could be, sort of something else that comes up that actually just really need a little bit of focus and support with. What we're finding at the moment with the sort of cohorts of our workshop that we've done is that we're getting a really, really good mix of these different stage businesses as well. So our workshop has been designed to really support and really empower these businesses to identify and look at ways to overcome those kind of common obstacles that early stage businesses face. Helps you to think about laying strong foundations to achieve the success you want, and also think about making a plan for that future growth as well. So to give you a bit more information about our workshops and what you can expect. So we are running a mix of both online and in-person workshops. So we have an in-person workshop happening next week, with another one provisionally planned in for early July. And then in between this, so during sort of April and May time, we'll be running an online cohort. So online, this is over 4 mornings across 2 weeks. So essentially two sort of sessions a week. Each session lasts for 3.5 hours. So we do kind of 9:30 till 12:30. So we just do that sort of morning block, and we deliver these via Zoom. Ahead of any of the workshops, we'll email out to you the resources that you need for that session. The feedback that we're getting from clients on our online workshops is just that they're still sort of really convenient for everybody. So if you've got other things going on, if you are sort of running your business at the moment, you know, it's really convenient that you can kind of, you don't have to take a full day out sort of traveling, so you can come to the online one and, you know, work and do whatever you need to while you're doing it. And we've also had the feedback that actually it's nice as well to have a little bit of time in between the sessions to process that information and sort of download it and think about the next steps. Our in-person workshops, so these are sort of 2 full consecutive days. So we're running them sort of Thursday and Friday next week, and they are full days. They start at 9 o'clock and they go on till about sort of 4:30. We try and choose an accessible location, so somewhere quite central for everyone to get to. And we cover the same content as we would cover in our online workshops as well. But obviously the in-person ones, what they really do is kind of give you that opportunity to meet people in person. So that kind of networking, that sharing of ideas, you know, meeting other business owners, that element's easier when you're on person. There are some people that just prefer the in-person sort of thing as well. We've got a couple of people who are coming along next week, and they've actually kind of held off attending because they'd rather be in that in-person setting. So when you sort of come through the Growth Hub and you get through to our team, you can always speak to them about what option works best for you. So in each session, whether that's online or in person, it's delivered and led by one of our business development managers. So for example, we have Graham, who delivers our marketing sessions. So he has over 25 years experience in PR and marketing. And he'll introduce you to the topic area. He'll take you through this in quite a methodical way, so that you leave well informed. We use various tools and canvases to support throughout the sessions, and we introduce you to a kind of action plan at the start of the workshop, and we really encourage you to write down 2 to 3 key actions from each session that we introduce you to, you know, so that you've kind of come out with it with some real key actions to be thinking about. So we also build in time for discussions. So online, we use breakout rooms, we use the chat function, and we encourage people, if they're comfortable, to take their mics off, ask a question, you know, get involved in the discussion. And then obviously when we're in person, we're looking really at more sort of group discussions and interaction around your table with the other businesses and with your business development manager as well. And then for both workshops, so whether that's online or in person, you are assigned a business development manager as well, who will be on hand to support you through the workshop content and also to answer any questions that you might have. Okay. So just to give you really a little bit more information about the types of things that we cover in our workshop. So session 1, we look at the person and we sort of look at business modelling. So we'll start by looking at you as the business owner. So we get you thinking about your motivations, what does success look like for you and for your business? And we get you thinking about the types of skills that you might bring to your business, and also kind of identifying any areas that perhaps we need some support with. And for me personally, I think this is a really great session because actually we quite often forget about ourselves as the business owners. It's all about the business. So it's really great to take a little bit of time, just sort of think about us as well. And we'll also introduce you to a different business models, and we'll use something called the business model canvas to get you thinking about the current model of your business, or, you know, and how it works or how it might work with the direction you're going. Session 2, we're looking at customers and value proposition. So we get you thinking about your customers or potential customers, who they might be, how to group or segment these customers differently, you know, thinking about their different needs, and to sort of help, you know, you start thinking about creating meaningful messages, so that we're targeting it to the right people. And then with value proposition as well, we'll be getting you to think about and identify how your business really adds value to your customers. So you'll kind of leave that session ready to optimize your products and services for your target customer. Session 3, we're thinking about build, measure, learn, and marketing. So build, measure, learn, this is all thinking about kind of reducing risk around your business by, you know, testing some of your ideas and assumptions that you're making and really turning these into knowledge to know that, you know, we're sort of delivering what the customer wants. And then our marketing session, you know, we're going to help you to review your marketing channels, figure out what works, you know, make sure you're getting the most from your kind of marketing and the resources that you're using, and then also get you thinking about what that marketing plan might be going forwards as well. And then finally, our final session, we kind of end with knowing your numbers. So really, we get you thinking about financials that work for you, for your customers. So ensuring customers are kind of happy with the value you offer, and that they're going to pay the prices that you're looking at, generating sufficient income for you to keep your business growing, and spend some time looking at the financials and kind of what they're telling you. So with this session, we often get quite a lot of feedback that sometimes the numbers can make people feel a little bit nervous. So we make sure that we kind of try and keep this really light in jargon, and make it really sort of accessible for everybody. So that's what we're covering really in our workshops. What happens after our workshops? So following completion of the workshop, you'll have a kind of chat with your business development manager to discuss the next stages of support. Various routes that this can go down. So for some people, coming along to the workshop, that's enough support at this stage. They've had enough information to sort of go away and develop that idea further, or perhaps it's just kind of reset their direction and identified some of those obstacles that they've been facing, and sort of given them a bit of a plan of how to move forwards. If that's the case for you, then we would signpost you and refer you back into the Growth Hub. It could be that people are looking for perhaps a combination of support or different support than we would offer at Unlocking Potential. Again, that's where we would look at referring you back into the Growth Hub, and perhaps onto one of the other programs available that you're going to hear about sort of shortly. Or it might be that actually it's to continue the support with us at Unlocking Potential. The support that we can continue to offer is, sort of on a one-to-one basis with your business development manager. So you'll keep working with them in meetings and sort of covering and discussing areas that you want to find out more about. We have a series of follow-on workshops that we will be delivering as well for people who are on program with us. And these are kind of a bit of a deeper dive into specific areas. So we have a follow-on marketing workshop that we run. So this takes you kind of down to that next level following the breakthrough workshop. We also look at follow-on workshops in more specific areas like social media, email marketing. It could be about optimizing sales online. So we've got a variety of workshops that we can, that you can attend as well. And then also we have some people might also benefit from some external coaching. So we have a bank of mentors that we use, and they can be used for sort of really specific targeted support. And again, we've got coaches that can cover in a variety of areas. But just to give you an example, this could be, SEO, could be about sustainability, sales, online retail strategy, or it could be more practical things like video creation or using kind of like Adobe and things like that. So what will happen is basically you will agree the kind of next stages of support with your business development manager. And just to give you an idea of how this could look, we've recently just finished a cohort. Some of my clients have been reposted on back to the Growth Hub, and actually they're going on to different programs for areas of support. And then a couple of my clients I'm continuing to work with. I've got a client who is really sort of looking at who their customer is, and that marketing plan. So that's what we'll be focusing on, and sort of support with them might be looking at doing some one-to-one sessions on customer segmentation, thinking about marketing, attending our follow-on marketing workshop to get to that next level, and then we'll sort of relook at the support from there and carry that journey on. So I think that's pretty much everything from me. Just if there's any questions.
Sorry, I was reading. I've got a couple of questions actually. I'll try and keep them just about UP. So you mentioned that you have a workshop next week. If people are interested in kind of getting your support, I assume they need to go in through the Growth Hub, and perhaps wouldn't be in time for next week. Would it be?
No, we're actually, our workshop next week is actually fully booked. So we're at capacity for that workshop. But basically come in, go to the Growth Hub, have a chat with them, and they will sort of put you onto our team, and then our team will speak to you about the next available workshops spaces that we've got.
And is there any limitation on the amount of time or support that somebody could get from the business development manager?
So yeah, so we sort of were working on a time frame of around sort of 6 months on the support journey, and we have sort of we probably say kind of, you know, around 9 hours-ish with your business development manager. There's a budget for coaching and external mentoring. So, you know, sort of anything with that would stay in within that budget. But it's kind of on a client by client basis, really. But that's the kind of parameters we've got, I guess.
You've got a question.
Yes. Karen, I was actually working with Unlocking Potential. I don't know if Dave Crosley is still working with you.
He's not,
but
unfortunately, no.
Back in 2021. Does that exclude me from working with you again?
I would probably need to check for you, Hugh. I think just oh, hello, Kirsty.
Can I answer that question?
Hello.
Hello there. So a sincere apologies for being late. I've had all sorts of technical issues. My computer keeps restarting on its own accord. But so apologies for being late. Just to let, I'm Kirsty Miles-Musgrave, and I'm the operations manager here at the Growth Hub. So apologies to my colleagues from provider groups for abandoning you. I'm sure Julie looked after you. But just in response to that question, Hugh, it doesn't preclude you from receiving the support. But what we do have to consider is what we call state aid, or actually is now called subsidy control. And essentially what that means is businesses can have up to a certain value of support. So that includes funding, so actually sort of grant funding, but also the support you receive has a value. So if you have received support or funding in the last 3 years, all we will do is ask you to explain what that was. And Unlocking Potential should have sent you some information about what the value of the support you received was. Now that value is £315,000. So you're unlikely to be reaching that unless you've had a very large grant through someone. But don't worry about that too much. We can sort that all out at the Growth Hub. But essentially, unless you have had a very large amount of support and funding over the last 3 years, you'll be absolutely fine.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
That's good to know. Okay, I do have more questions, but I think I'll wait till I've heard the other presentations because they may get answered. So who's next?
Me.
Oh, hi, Lynda. Thank you.
Hello there.
I've been here to MC this, but I think we were going to bring Lynda in from Oxford Innovation next to talk about access to finance.
Thank you.
I'll just mute myself.
Are you all right there, Lynda? Do you need any help?
Yes, sorry. If you could just bear with me a moment. I'm more familiar with Teams than I am with Zoom. So sorry, just bear with me.
I always can't find the screen that I'm about to share because I've got too many windows open.
Yes.
You may need to scroll down. If you press the share button, you might need to scroll down to find the right screen. I know sometimes if you've got lots of things open on your computer, it can be difficult to find.
Sorry, bear with me one moment.
Yeah, sometimes the
oh gosh, I am sorry.
you need to say you need to there's something that says more window. Is it more windows? I can never remember. Sort of down the bottom if yours isn't appearing.
I think we're okay.
Great.
Am I there?
Marvelous.
Lovely. Thank you.
Well
done. Sorry, I just need to move the bar. Slideshow from the beginning. Can you see that? Is that okay? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that looks absolutely fine.
So my name's Lynda Clark. I am a business growth specialist at Oxford Innovation, and we deliver our programme on behalf of the Growth Hub, and it is called Access to Finance Plus. So I am one of a team of 8. We have 2 growth specialists and we have 6 finance specialists. So I will talk you through our programme. There are some similarities with Karen's programme that she's spoken about before, so apologies if some is repetitive. So just a little bit about us. As we say, we are access to finance. So we help you get finance. And our priority, the important thing for us is the education before intervention. So we really, really want to empower you to be confident about finance. It's one of those topics that many people shy away and feel very nervous about, as Karen mentioned, but we really want to sort of hold your hand and make you feel empowered. It's very, very important, and every startup business will need finance to establish themselves and to grow. So that's just a little bit about us, what we do. So it's a fully funded programme. We've worked with different finance providers and engaged with a lot of business. We help you get the support, but we also give you post-investment support as well. So what we do, our priority is to help you with your financial management skills. We also look at your funding needs. So that's now as you start up, but for your future as well. And then we also, on our programme, have strategy and leadership support as well. We talk to you about the funding landscape, which can be very complicated and is forever changing. And so there's lots of different options available. And we empower you so that you feel really equipped to know that any funding you're getting, we're very clear about the pros and the cons and what it really means for you, because money is precious. And once you do get it, it's then being really cautious about how you spend it. We help you through any funding application process that you decide to do. So that's supporting you with the paperwork and anything that you may not understand. And then again, we've got our business generalist specialists who can sort of help you with your business as you're going through the funding application. And as we say, there's post-funding support. So it's really important with finance that you really think about what it is you want. We have a lot of clients who come to us and they might have a figure in their head of a sum of money, but we really encourage you to think about whether you really do need that sum of money and what is it you're going to be spending it on. So again, there's just some examples there. It could be on sales and marketing. It could be product development. It could be a physical building. It could be for website and development. It could be erasing debt. There's many, many reasons, but we really try and get you to hone down what you want to do with the money. So how we do it, like Karen, we have two different versions. So we do group sessions, our 2-day workshops. So they run every 2 weeks, and we do them fortnightly. One is in Poole, and we have one next week on the 4th and 5th of March at the Fibre Hub. And then every other week, 2 weeks later, we do them at Roach in Victoria. So we try and cover both sort of North and South Cornwall. So the workshops run from 9 in the morning until about 4 o'clock. We often have anything between 4 to 12 businesses, and we have all different industries. And actually, unlike the Breakthrough Workshop, we do have different stages. So we do have startups, but within there you may have established clients as well. And with finance, we do find that even if you're an established business, still clients are not confident in their finances, and it's actually quite refreshing to have the mix of the new businesses. Some are pre-startup, some are startup, and some are existing, but they all are learning about finance. So what happens on day one? Because we have 6 different finance specialists, they're all heavily involved in the workshops and they all come in with their specialist field. So first of all, one of our team, normally Greg, he would talk about the landscape which changes. So what sort of finance you're looking for, as we say, the pros and the cons, and he'll talk through each different type. Chris will then come in and talk about the grant funding landscape. Again, that's ever changing, and we work closely with the growth hub there. And again, it's talking about the commitments and the detail behind the eligibility, and also what the process looks like. We talk about your finance shopping list. Literally, what do you think you want, and how might that be broken down across the different sections of your business. Then in the afternoon, we move into the business planning. So this is specifically business planning for you to get finance. So we talk about what the funders or the lenders would be looking for in your business plan. So it's not a really big 5-year strategic plan with a lot of detail, but we really help you get into the mind of the funders and the lenders and what they need to see in that business plan to give you the best chance of getting that finance. So we talk about the importance of it, and we break it down by section. And then after the workshop, we actually send you a blank template, so you can at home fill in. There'll be lots of questions that are asked, and you fill in the template and come up with the business plan. And then we highlight here what are the really, really key features that makes your business plan stand out. Day 2, it's always the same venue and the same format, so normally starts at 9 o'clock. And this is a day that is, it feels a little bit like a classroom, but once again, we support you and go through all the principles of financial forecasting. So John and Natalie do this session, and they will talk you through the principles and then get you to think about, it's interactive. You'll stop on each section and complete your own figures into the documents. So we talk about the fundamentals. There's a lot of jargon and terminology in the finance world that we help you understand. There is never a question that is too silly to ask. You know, we want you to leave on day 2 and feel really empowered. So it really is about asking everything and repeating it if we need to. We talk about pricing, so that's sort of pricing for your products and whether they're appropriate, and sort of looking at competition there. And we go through the costs of your sales and overheads. We talk through profit and loss and what that means, and then we help you to do a cash flow projection. So at the end of day 2, you should leave feeling very empowered. This is an example of our business plan template. So that's what we talk through, and these are the topics that we go through. There's 8 of them, and we break them down one by one. And as I say, this is all about the level that the funders would be needing to see. So each section is important. So we do cover customers, competition, marketing, but again, sufficient enough for you to get your funding, or to give you the best chance of being approved for your funding. So the other thing that we give after the 2-day workshop is access to our digital academy. We have on here 21 hours of workshop content that has been recorded by Heather, who is our program manager, and John. We always say it's an alternative to finding a good box set. So 21 hours is there if you want it. The beauty of it, everything that we've gone through in the workshop, you can just go into the section that you want, and sort of they're broken down. Some sessions are half an hour, some are 45 minutes, and at any time you can re-look at it and go through it. So it's a great service to have, that once you have the login, you've then got access to this. So if you do want to go back on a topic, you can do that at your leisure, at home, and on any topic. So similarly to the Unlocking Potential programme, we can also do one-to-one meetings. So the workshop is good in terms of, as Karen said, it's great to be in a room with other businesses all going through it. If that's not suitable for you for any reasons, whether it's location or getting there, we can do one-to-one meetings. Our office is at Poole Innovation Centre, but equally we can always do meetings via Teams, or our finance specialists can come to you wherever that's convenient. And just the Access to Finance programme had been running for 2 years. 2 sessions, so for 6 years before, and we now are Access to Finance Plus. So an additional support to our programme is we help you beyond your financial well-being. We do have business growth specialists, of which I'm one, that can help with your planning. And we can also help with your strategy and leadership and productivity as your business grows. The other thing we have as part of the one-to-one package is we have Growth Mapper, which is an Oxford Innovation diagnostic tool, and we specifically have one for startups. So it's a 15-minute questionnaire where we would ask you questions on your motivation for running the business, your market, resilience, resources, and networking. And it gives you a diagnosis, and it just helps you start on the right foot in terms of these are the areas that you could look into in greater detail to give your business the best chance of success. So in summary, our support is for all sizes and stages of business. As I say, we have pre-start, we have high growth. We focus on financial readiness. That's the thing we are trying to do, is get you ready to applying for finance. You may leave the 2-day workshop or our sessions and say, I'm not ready to apply for any finance, but I know exactly what I need to do. In terms of working through the business plan, doing my forecast. You can then, when you've done your work, email them to us, and we can critique it and we can work with you until you're happy that you're financially ready to make that application. So we're holding your hand all the way through. As I said, we have that arm to the business as well. It's important to us that as your businesses grow, we're safeguarding any job opportunities and your business, because particularly for startups, it's difficult to have a startup business, and we really want to help you give that best chance of being successful. We help you with grant applications and funding applications, and then we have the additional diagnostic tools. And then just to finish, I added a couple of quotes that we've had recently from our workshop. And I think the last one sort of makes me smile, because you will be surprised and excited to do a cash flow on Excel. So a lot of our clients come and they fear finance. And I think as someone who I didn't particularly enjoy maths at school, I think a lot of people come to the workshops, they're very nervous. We want to get rid of that fear, and we want you to feel really confident about finance, how to get it, and what you're going to do with it. So any questions for our programme? Just to say, we do have spaces if anyone is interested in coming next Monday and Tuesday, which is at the Fibre Hub in Poole. We do have some spaces available. It's the same route as Karen mentioned. So you would come via the Growth Hub, and then Growth Hub refer to us. It's a quick process in terms of we would then send you the link to our Eventbrite workshop, and you would book on those directly.
That's great. Any questions for Lynda? I have a quick question about applications. So in terms of, would you support with any kind of applications for funding or grant to external bodies?
Sorry, when you say any applications?
Yeah, so I'm just thinking about the kind of organisations that people would be applying to, and would that also include, you know, I don't know, just plucking it out of my head, but sort of angel investment and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, all of those. So again, you know, very specifically for startups, there is a startup loan, which tends to be the most popular one. But equally, our team have different expertise. So if, for example, someone was looking for investment, and what we would help them do the pitch deck, and then it will be introducing them to angel investors. There's also crowdfunding. So it's any sort of finance within our team. They will have that experience to guide you to the best, most appropriate lender or funder for your type of industry and for the size of your business. So it's very, very specific. We really would work closely with you and give you all the different options and the pros and cons.
Okay, that's really useful to know. Has anyone else got any questions before we go on to hearing from Francis? No? Okay.
I might be interested in coming along to your meeting on Monday.
Monday, fantastic.
In which case, Hugh, what I would suggest, if you're not already, I mean, even if you are already registered with the Growth Hub, is after this session, pick up the phone and give us a call, because there are some we need to sort of onboard you with the Growth Hub to then get you through. So if you are, you know, if you are looking to get on that cohort on Monday, then it's really important that you give us a call as soon as humanly possible. I'll stick the email address and the telephone number and the website in the chat. And so pretty much, you know, when we say cheerio in sort of, you know, 20 minutes, half an hour's time, pick up that phone. Now, we're not a call centre. We've only got one person on the phone. So if they are all already on a call, please do leave a voicemail and they will call you back.
Okay, brilliant.
From our point of view, Hugh, we would just need to email you a form to complete ahead of coming on Monday. So hopefully we can fast track that through.
That would be good.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Sorry, I've just got a quick question. Now I've worked out how to get myself off of mute. So this is for you, Lynda. Obviously you weren't here at the beginning of the conversation. I kind of introduced myself. My plan eventually is to get a new nursing home up and running, which is obviously in the business planning stages.
Yes.
Obviously we will be looking for a property, etc., and that will probably need to be changed to make it suitable for what we're requiring. So I guess my question is there any limit on the sort of funding that you guys are able to help with, or is there like a cut-off point?
No, there isn't. And again, it's very specific to your business and what you're looking for. You know, there are some businesses where it's a much smaller raise. You know, it could be £2,500, but there are some that are in millions. So again, that's the beauty of our team, is they have access and experience of all different types of finance, and they will listen. That's why it's really important that we understand what you're doing and the timescales and the urgency and how you might spend it, and then they'll work with you to come up with the best solution.
Amazing, brilliant, thank you.
Can I just add to that, just because I'm thinking about Natasha's business there, you've obviously got quite a lot to do, Natasha. But for any businesses that are kind of getting on board with you now, obviously your programs are running, is it right, till March 2025?
Yes.
Could there be any issues around, you know, if her process takes longer than that, would there be any kind of way of extending the support available?
Well, our programs, as you say, they do finish in March 25. So that does give us a year. In terms of, again, when you're applying for finance, depending on the type of finance, there will be different timescales. But that won't stop us working with you now. You know, it's important that, and I think the thing to stress on our program, it's about that financial readiness.
Yeah.
So we need to get you ready so that when you do apply, you're in the best position to be applying. So again,
Sure.
that's why we need to look at your timescales in terms of when do you want the money, and therefore when might you need to apply, and different lenders will have different timescales, but the team can go through all of that with you.
Amazing, thank you.
Really helpful, thank you. Okay, so should we move on to, is Frances, are you going to go next?
Apparently.
Over to Frances.
Okay, right, it's my turn to start squinting at the screen while I start sharing. Let's get the right thing. You don't want my boring spreadsheet. That's the one I want to share. There we go.
Apparently spreadsheets are very exciting. That's
Apparently,
what
I do love a spreadsheet, yeah, but right, slideshow. There we go, from the beginning. Okay. So, hi everybody. I'm Frances Tanner. I'm from the University of Exeter, and we have a programme which is called Evolve Futures. As we've heard already, this is also part of the Shared Prosperity Funding proposition that we're providing support through. There's actually 5 of me, but we've all got slightly different things that we're doing through the Evolve Futures project. I've got the startup remit, so that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. But there is a lot of complementary things going on around what we're doing that might be of interest, subject to your own sort of proposition. That's a great start. Hang on a moment. Here we go. Can I get? Oh, there we go. So who are we looking for? Essentially, we're looking for startups, or indeed a bit like we've heard from Lynda there. We're really happy to work with businesses that are a bit more established. I think one of the things I would say is that the university is an often overlooked asset for you as business leaders. I've worked with a lot of startups in my career, and some of them were really, really big ones, and some of them weren't quite so big. But mostly it was, we'll just keep doing our thing, and there was not actually a thought, could the university help us with this? And if there was, it was usually, we need some students. But actually, we've all paid taxes into the university, and there are some massive assets here. There's 7,000 people who work here, and there's a lot of brain power, and actually a huge ambition for us to work much more closely with the business community. So I think what I'm really sort of saying to you is, you might not think that there's something for the university from the university for you, but there quite possibly is. We've got academics and researchers who could potentially work alongside if you've got a bright idea that you want to develop. And we've also got massive bits of kit and caboodle that you couldn't begin to hope to access otherwise. So yes, we're happy to work with all sorts of people, whether they're pre-start, have been going a little while, or a bit more developed, and we don't mind what sector you're in. So within our Evolve Futures project, we for the startup strand, we've got 3 key elements. So starting with our events, these are round about 3 hours in duration. We want to make them as accessible as possible. We know that time is money, so you can come along in person, or if it's just not that easy, then you can jump in online. And maybe around 30 people in the room. We don't want them to be a huge sort of talking shop. We want them to be really, really interactive. And the idea behind them is that we will pick on a topic, and I'll come on to those in a minute. You'll hear from somebody who is a leader, a sector leader, commercial expert in that topic, who will be sharing some thoughts or strategies or best recommendations, good practice. We may well have somebody from the university who can add some research sort of pieces around that. And also we put somebody who is an entrepreneur who's been there, done that, and got the t-shirt, and has made you feel that I'm not alone in this. It can be a really lonely place starting in a business. And sometimes you think, am I the only one that's experiencing that? So we like to find somebody who's been there and done it, and can share their experience around that topic with you and give you a bit of comfort that you're not alone in all of this. And as we've heard elsewhere, there's also a really good opportunity to meet other people and have a good chat with them, whether it's the expert themselves or whether it's other folk in the room. So coming up, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. On the 7th of March, which is just next week, we're looking at insurance and risk management. And I'm sure you must think, oh, dull as dishwater, goodness me. But the reality is every business has to manage risk, and it all looks different to where you're at, where you're going. And so we've got some fantastic folk coming along, somebody who's going to talk about risk strategies, somebody who's going to talk about insurance and how that fits into it, because it's not all about insurance. There's lots of different sorts, and that is just one solution of managing risk in your business. And then again, as I said, we've got an entrepreneur, a bit like you guys out there, who's got a number of years under his belt and can share his own experiences and things that he would suggest you do or you don't do, perhaps. Going forward into June, we're going to run one on IP, that's intellectual property. If you've got an idea or a proposition, you need to protect the rights of that and just not lose it to somebody else who comes along and says, oh, that's a good idea, I'll have a bit of that. And suddenly all your work might have just been lost. So we're going to have a little deep dive into that. Then you can see in September, we're looking at sustainable finance. Now, I'm not going to go into the deep dive like Lynda and her team at Oxford Innovation, but there's a whole sort of piece around ethical and sustainability and governance. So making sure you've got really good sound foundations for your business that actually can help you get on the supply chain, for example. Quite often now, investors are looking at how you set up your business, and have you got a policy for this, that, the other? Are you doing right in? Are you doing good things for your business? So we're going to have a look at that. R&D tax credits. It's a bit of a specific one, depending who's here today. This starts getting into research and development, and you can get some really good tax breaks from the government on that. So we're going to do that. And then finally, on this particular strand of these 3-hour type events, round about November, we're going to look at a particular sector, which is the marine and clean energy sector. It's obviously really important for the Cornwall community. Haven't quite shaped that one up yet, but that will be the crux of that one. The next part of our startup program is all around our workshops, and these are all 2 days. They are all in person, and they're all limited to a sort of a core number of people. So it's a bit of a hot ticket. We've got 3 core propositions. We've got business modeling, so that is reflective similarly to the unlocking potential proposition of using a business canvas model. It's a 2-day workshop. You get introduced to how you populate that for you and your business, so that you can actually analyze where you're trying to get to, who your customers are. And it is an iterative process, so it's something that will stay with you beyond the length of the workshop. But we've got a bit of peer review going on. We give you some homework, so it's quite hardcore. And the following day, we have some analysts that come in and actually cross-check with you. Are you really sure of how you've been using the canvas so far, and actually sort of say, yep, that looks like you're on track to take this away and start using it really, really sensibly for your proposition. The next one, we're calling it an IDS, an Innovation Design Studio, and that's really looking at sort of, if you've got an idea and it's just an idea, but you don't know, has it actually got any value, and how can I understand what value we might be able to define from that and actually give myself an income in the longer term? That's another 2-day workshop. And then the third strand is around bid writing. Now, We've got one of those coming up, but it is sold out. There will be another one later in the year, but it is going to be very much around a specific type of funding, Innovate UK, which is the government's support mechanism for innovative design thinking and propositions. So again, subject to who's in the room and what you're wanting to do, that may or may not be for you, but that's that one. As I say, those are all in person, and we've got really, really experienced coaches who come in to work with you directly with that and an ongoing basis thereafter. That's my program that I've talked about there. This will be shared with you after. I know Julie's going to circulate, or perhaps it's going to come through the Growth Hub for you. That gives you the dates that we're going to be running those on. The final piece, I think everybody's obviously looking to support people in a really, really personalized way. And we too have some mentoring coming up. It's one-to-one, and it is really looking for those businesses that are perhaps a little bit more established rather than pre-start. Ideally, we're looking to work with people who've been in business for about a year or more. Sometimes businesses can get stuck. I mean, I spoke to somebody the other day. He said, oh, we've been trading about 15 years, but we're just stuck. And we're happy to work with them on that. Don't mind what sector it's going to be. There is an application process because it is a bit of a precious thing to offer, and we're offering up to 12 hours of one-to-one support over a 6-month period. That's it. We have got other things, as I say, that sit around this whole program. I'm really happy to talk to anybody if about how you access some of our university resources, and just say, tell me more. I don't know what I can have. That's absolutely fine. There are other things within the program. Those are the contact details. The Eventbrite listing there is everything that you've seen, as where you can find what we've got. That's our email address as well. And again, I can pop those in the chat, or indeed, I'm sure Julie or Kirsty will circulate this round to you. But that's it in a nutshell. Quick and short and sharp. So I'll stop sharing and ask if there's any questions.
Thanks, Frances. Any questions? Obviously, I've got some.
Either that or I sent everyone to sleep.
Not at all. I'm just thinking about, firstly, that you mentioned quite a lot of events and workshops there. I appreciate people have to go through the Growth Hub in order to get to you. Is it okay for me to share the kind of things that you cover, though? Because that may interest people to sign up for support. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem at all.
And also, I think to add, Julie, they don't to go to France, to go to the Evolve event, they don't have to sign up first with the Growth Hub. So we are promoting the event through our social media, through our newsletter, and I will post our newsletter link in the chat as well, so people can sign up to that. I would absolutely encourage people to sign up to that. Not only are we pushing all of the events that are available, but if we do have any new support, any new funding, anything along those lines, it's always in our weekly newsletter. And I know people get a lot of emails, but you know, you can read the headlines and then delete it if you want. But it's one of the main ways of finding out what's going on, not just with the events that Frances and her team are doing, but across the board. So other people are also organising events, and there's other opportunities on there as well. So yeah. Please feel free to sign up to those events, as well as contacting the Growth Hub. But unlike some of the other routes to the business support, because the events are out there in the public domain, then you're able to jump on those and book them individually.
So
thank you, Kirsty.
The workshops, I assume, is that through, you go through the Growth Hub?
Yes. So to access
they're all on that Eventbrite link that I've popped in there, as Kirsty said. So they're being added variously, and so you can read a little bit about them, but they are coming online. Not all of the ones that I've popped in that listing are up there yet, but they will be coming.
because I can share those with obviously with our local businesses on my list to encourage people to.
Are they all online events?
Not all of them. The workshops are in person, but the 3-hour sessions are hybrid ones.
Okay. And where are you
Okay,
based,
and
Frances?
So mostly at the moment I'm using the Penryn campus for the university. I'm haggling with academics to bump them and their students out of rooms, because we've got lots of space but we can't always get our sticky fingers on it. But yes, we've got plenty of opportunities to find different rooms on the campus here in Penryn. But as I say, the 3-hour sessions are hybrid, and we're really happy to have you come and join in. We do our very, very best to make sure that you don't feel like you've got a second class sort of experience by being online. We'll try and have a good conversation with you in the room, just as much as if you were actually physically in the room. We just love to have you take part.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Did I ask your question for you, or?
You did, yes, thanks.
I'm so I used to work for another university that shall not be named.
Surely not.
When I work for business support programs, and I understand how particularly one of those projects worked with its university academics.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to just find out a little bit. So if they came in to get support from you, and you mentioned there about working with academics, would that be on things like developing? So
yes,
like R&D.
Well, what I haven't actually mentioned, as I say, I was asked to speak specifically about my bit, but we have something we're calling an in-residence program as part of the Evolve Futures program. So if you've got that idea or that proposition and you need to get it more developed, we're actually able to provide funding. We will buy your entrepreneur's time, your daily rate as a startup entrepreneur. And we will say we will pay for you if you wish to give your time to come onto this program. I think it's up to about 12 days of your time, but you can through that work with an academic or a researcher or a team, and indeed my wider team, to take your idea and develop it. So they can help research it, they can help design it, they can help give you access to some of the kit that we've got here. So if you need to test things, you need to give it a good shake, you need to put it through specific equipment, then you can indeed do that. And as I said, that will give you about 12 hours of your own time that is paying for you to come when you can't afford it, because you can't, you've got no money coming in from your startup. But it will also pay for the time of up to 40 hours of a researcher or an academic in addition. We have an application process for that, but it's a fantastic opportunity to take that idea and actually move it forward to potentially then be talking to the likes of the Access to Finance team about how you then put that into a bid. A lovely particular thing we've got, I think everyone knows that. Sure.
Can I just interrupt quickly, Francis, and ask what the name of that program was?
It's part of my program, Hugh. It's part of the Evolve Futures program. We call it in residence, but if you want to be asking about that, then just again come through Kirsty for the Growth Hub, or direct to me if that's easier. That's fine. We're liaising very closely with Kirsty and the team there, so we don't lose anybody off the radar screen. But that is one that I'm very happy to talk to you about, or one of my colleagues can talk to you a bit more about.
That sounds
Thank you.
incredible.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
It is, but no, it's absolutely fine. That's what we're here for. So it's fun. It's a super offer, and it helps people actually sort of take an idea into a more investor ready piece. Right. If you've got and you don't necessarily need to be an innovator. Some people think that's what they do. They think they are or not, but sometimes you've got an idea and you don't know how to realize it. And that's what we can help do.
That sounds incredible. So in terms of if because it sounds like Hugh wants lots of support.
Yay!
Is he entitled to access more than one program or project, and how it can does he have to go one at a time, or could he be unfaithful and speak to multiple programs?
Or he can just be very enthusiastic. Absolutely. So again, just to bear in mind that level of support. So I'm going to assume that everyone has not reached that limit, but we talk about that. So essentially what happens is get in contact with the Growth Hub, and what we do is we sit down and talk to you about what your business plans are, whether that means starting a business, whether that means growing an existing business. We sit down, we get on, sort of understand what your challenges and your opportunities are, and then we look at all of the business support options for you and identify the ones that are the best for you. And depending on that individual, some people like to do one at a time, because obviously it can be quite overloading to engage with multiple projects at once. But equally, that entirely depends on the individual in terms of their confidence and their ability to deal with that. So it could be that if someone came and spoke to us, that actually you engage with all of the support that you've heard about today in some way, shape or form, and at a time that is right for you. So there's absolutely no limit in terms of how many people you can go to or what you can do at once. The only limit is obviously what you think you're able to cope with at the time.
And what did you call it? It's not state aid anymore.
Subsidy control.
Subsidy control.
It's a joy. You said about everyone hates spreadsheets. Everyone in my team hates subsidy control because it's one of those. Oh, I've fallen asleep just saying it out loud.
Is that over a set period of time that somebody can get that support for?
It is. So it's over a 3-year period. So the current financial year and then the previous 2 years.
I'm just going to write down. I do have a couple of questions, but I'll just see if Hugh or Natasha have any questions before I ask. No. It's just that I know some of the people that couldn't attend today are looking at setting up social enterprises, and I wondered if that is something that they can access support through your programs for. They can.
I was going to say, just to say that we do have a specialist within our finance team who specifically works with CICs. So yes, we would be very happy to support them.
What about charities?
Yes. So again, we have that support.
Right.
And same for us as well, Julie. We've got a business development manager who's got a lot of experience working with charities. So yeah, same as Lynda, really.
Great. And I know that someone has got 2 ideas and they're very much in sort of pre-startup stage. Should they come to the Growth Hub with both those ideas and maybe get some support with which idea might be more ready for them to go with, or should they make a decision before they come to you?
I think that's entirely up to the individual. We're more than happy to talk about both propositions. And for instance, by going through the support that's been outlined today, you probably would end up with a result on that in terms of what do you having gone through the proposition, the market, what your customer segmentation, looking at access to finance in terms of what finance is available to you, looking at all the risk and sort of licensing, all the business essentials that Francis is cover. So having cherry picked all of that, I would suggest that they would come to a decision. So the Growth Hub do not give advice. So we are literally a signposting organisation. So we would not tell that individual which option is the best one to go to. But what we can understand are what those options are, and then look at the different support that's available. And I would suggest that by going through the support that we've outlined today, you would come to a decision on that.
Yeah, because I
think the other thing I was just going to say on the back of that is that if somebody has been working with any one of us, we know each other reasonably well now and what we're doing as a complementary sort of wider team. So we would be able to either signpost and say, right, now you need to go and talk to the Oxford Innovation team, or you need to talk to the Unlocking Potential team, and back and forth and so forth. I think I sort of see what we've got at the university as being as a bit of a pick and mix. Perhaps unlocking potential is very clearly a program. You know, you sort of go in and you work your way through, and I would probably say that's similar with the Oxford Innovation, but what we've got will sit alongside and complement back and forth. So it's very much a round and round sort of opportunity to bag all of it, really.
I've got an image of you at the, you know, one of those counters in Woolies. So
Showing your age now, Woolies, really?
I've done a lot of that.
But yes.
Showing my age.
Well, the fact that I recognise it is the same thing there, Julie.
That's really helpful, because the person I'm thinking of in particular, who's got two ideas, I do think they're interrelated from what I can remember, and I think he probably just needs to talk it over a little bit, and I think maybe taking part in some of these programs will help him to focus. I think probably one is maybe he would need to start with, and he still might develop the other idea afterwards, but that's really helpful. I'm just looking down to see if I've got any other questions. I think you've answered all of them, to be honest. So you.
Sorry, I'm going to have to glide off, I'm afraid, but that's been really, really helpful, everyone. Thank you very much. And I will call the Growth Hub in the next half hour or so.
Great.
Thanks, Julie, and thanks to everyone else.
Thanks, you. Thanks for coming along.
Thanks, you.
Cheers, bye.
Natasha, do you have any questions before we end?
No, I think everything's been covered, actually. I'm feeling a bit more confident having spoken to you all and knowing that I think that there's the help and support available that I need. So yeah, hopefully be dealing with you all again soon.
It'd be lovely to hear, you know, the progress that you make. I'd love to find out when you get it started.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
It's not an if, it's a when.
Oh, for sure, definitely. Thank you so much, guys. You've all been amazing.
Thank you, and thanks for coming along.
Natasha.
Thank you. Bye-bye.